Robert, let's start with third quarter GDP up 33%. What do you make of that?
Well, Susan, a massive rebound, but coming on the heels of a massive drop in the second quarter. And so it's a very encouraging number. Very nice to see that. We saw most components of GDP contributing positively, including consumer spending, business investment, residential investment. But it also was an incomplete rebound, even though in terms of the print number, 33 sounds bigger than 31 from last second quarter. It was an incomplete rebound, still leaving us 3.5% below the fourth quarter level of GDP. So we got about 2/3 of the drop back. So that's really the important thing to think about it.
Let's talk specifically about some September numbers for nominal personal income increasing by 0.9%, and then also consumer spending increasing 1.4%. So people are bringing in a little bit more money and spending a little more.
Yes, it's very interesting though, when you dig into the weeds, particularly on the income numbers, you see two key components that are in a lot of flux right now. One is transfer payments, which came up in August, July and August, and stabilized in September. And that was a result of fiscal stimulus money. Those were the checks, direct payments to households. So that's been a big factor in personal income. The other is proprietors' income, and that grew substantially in September due to PPP loans. So we see a lot of impact on fiscal stimulus. Nice to see the overall consumer spending numbers come up, and that should help us going into the fourth quarter.
Robert, we've talked before about the real estate market and the strength in that, and interesting to see these numbers up, the prices up 5.7 year over year. That's pretty remarkable.
Yes, that was the Case-Shiller House Price Index for the U.S. as a whole, and indicative of those good conditions and improving conditions we're seeing on the single-family housing market. So for across the U.S., house prices up now 5.7% in August compared to a year ago. Now, your mileage is going to vary, so that does vary by location, but it's a nice sign here that the housing market is strengthening, building equity for homeowners, especially in this very low mortgage rate environment. So prices going up with mortgage rates low, we're building equity, and that's a nice solid foundational gain for consumers going forward.
And Robert, new out this morning, the Federal Reserve is talking about changing some of the terms of the Main Street lending program. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Susan, the Fed is going to make it easier for small businesses and nonprofits to participate in the program. They're going to they're clarifying some of the rules relative to the PPP loans and how that affect the Main Street loans. So nice to see that. I still view that as a backstop program, not a major program for the economy right now, but something we have if we need it. And certainly if the economy were to cool down in the fourth quarter, we might see more businesses, both for-profit and nonprofit, applying for that program. And it's nice to see the Fed making that a little more available with these changes in the terms.